AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com. And streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Deception After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Deception After Show.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, AfterBuzzers. Bring us for doing in this evening. Today, we are doing NBC's first season finale of Deception. Starting making good, Laz Alonso, Victor Garber, Catherine Lanasa, Tate Donovan, Wes Brown,
Ella Ray Peck.
This episode is called Start With the Hillbilly, and that's exactly what we're going to do because it was going down between Sophia and Wyatt today.
Yes.
What happened with that?
Oh my goodness, the hillbilly came out of her.
You know what I'm saying?
It did. She showed her true colors.
She came back.
What?
Are you going to introduce yourself?
No.
Oh, yeah, I am going to introduce myself. I was just so excited.
Right.
I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey, and joining me is...
I am Megan Thomas. So glad to be here.
And I am Bamm Ericsen.
Bam.
Bam! Okay, so we starting with the hillbilly. So they scrapping? Like,
In the store.
what is going on with the... That's really like...
I felt Sophia's character was a little out of pocket.
What do you mean?
Well, it was revealed they had a plan. He went to jail. She had a pass. She was turning tricks, and they had obviously something special going on. They made an agreement. And now he's out. She also put I was about to say weed. She also put cocaine into his
Heroin.
heroin.
That heroin.
Yeah, she actually put that into his jumpsuit pocket so that he can stay longer. So he betrayed her. So she betrayed him. So now he's out, and so he wants to come visit her and find out what's going on. And she's acting like they don't have whatever was planned 20 years ago. Like he has a right to, show up and be like, "What's up?"
And she has a right to change her mind. It's been 20 years.
Well, you don't have.
It's how.
Okay, I will agree with that. I will agree. She did him grimy. She should have been like, I love
that's my
you.
golden rule. It's how. It's not what. It's how. Because it feels this dude's been gone that long. Why lead him on for so long? Why not gradually give him the idea and let him know, like, look, I'll probably just post up over here and be with Robert.
And then she
make him my man and just stay over here. 20 years has gone by, and but it has to do. They didn't reveal the dirt that what he has on, did they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they showed the flashback before. Remember, she was covered in blood.
Right.
And so now it seems they're alluding to the fact that he
took the rap.
She killed her abusive father, and he took the rap for it. So he's been in jail for 20 years. So I can see why he'd be mad. But you got $3 million out the deal. Start a new life.
$3 million for 20 years, not worth it.
Okay, but guess what? He probably had way less than that wherever he was.
She had way less than that too. You don't make that much money turning tricks.
You're right, but that's what she gave him, kind of like his consolation prize. So what should he have done? Should he have said to her, "Give me more money"?
I think he's thinking that. I think Wyatt thinks that they are supposed to start a life together, and that her relationship with Robert is all play.
It's not real because based on the foundation of how it started, it was like this whole thing was about coming up anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't based on anything genuine like what they've gone through and the love they have. And you gotta remember, he's been put away. He's gonna start his life off where he left off.
Right.
Because he's been locked up. It's not like he's been living life like everybody else.
And that's fair. I mean, she came to visit him, I'm sure. She had, was leading him on, making him think that she still wanted to be with him. So she should have cut those strings a long time ago and said, I'll come and visit you and be your friend. But then the game has changed.
She should have, at some point, she should have Go ahead, Bamm.
She gave him some last week in the bathroom stall. Hello.
Right. Last
that was
week.
a conjugal visit room.
And then she gave him some in the bathroom of the restaurant.
That's right. That is
exactly.
right.
So it's kind of like you're gonna have to, I don't know. This is one of those situations. It's a bad situation, but she handled it. She just handled it wrong.
And I think it hit the boiling point when she's in the store and she started just going ape.
Right.
Crazy, throwing stuff at him. Of course, she tries to hide it and tell Mia to go stand in the line. Really, the store does not look like that. It's that big.
Right.
She's gonna hear this commotion, and clearly you're going nuts.
Just dramatic, and the way that she was even throwing the things, like she wasn't even aiming right. She didn't even connect.
She was just angry.
She ain't a baseball player, but
yeah, she's mad though.
Well, when a woman,
Bamm was gonna wind up and strike.
But that country girl came out of her, honey.
Right.
Oh, and did you guys notice the Stevie Wonder song playing in the background?
Isn't she lovely?
I was so excited. I was like, doo-doo-doo-doo.
That's one of those things where something
Deception.
completely opposite is going on from whatever. But I mean, just if I was Wyatt, I would feel completely deceived. I
Yeah.
just would. I would feel, and $3 million. If you want to, that's like replacing a person. They try to, if somebody has a family member that's, passed away or something as a result of somebody's malpractice or somebody's accident, and they want to, give you money. It's like that's not going to bring the person back. And he loves her. If he loves her and really felt like they were soulmates, we had this plan. We're going to spend our lives together. We're going to do it like this. And she's abandoning him. That money is not going to help him.
I agree with
have
you.
her.
I agree. However,
if he loves, I think he loves her.
Okay, but if you love somebody, you don't try to dismantle their life, even if they do you horribly. You love them.
If they do you horribly,
even if they do you horribly, when you truly love somebody, you'll be like, you know what, I love you so much that even though you've been ugly to me, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna wash it under the bridge. Like I'm just gonna let it go. If he really loved her, you're not gonna sit here and do something worse to that person if you truly love them.
Weigh in, Bamm.
Fix your face, Bamm. What?
the straw has been broken. She makes that big scene in the store. She's throwing things. It caused him to literally almost get arrested again. He had to hem somebody up against the apples and oranges. Like she's out of pocket. Like he's come to her several times and she's dissing him and she broke her promise. So now.
Well, I'm just saying, I think people are allowed to change their minds, but you're right. She should have handled it in a different way.
Okay. That's a big question. If you guys want to, hold on one second, Bamm. If you guys want to call in and weigh in on this, 424-256-1729, whether you think Sophia should have handled it better or Wyatt just needs to take $3 million and get over it and move on with his life, give us a call and let us know what you guys think, because it's obviously like a little hot topic right now, discussing how this has been handled with Wyatt and Sophia. Another hot topic is this situation with Will, and he's being celebrated for a murder he didn't really solve.
Well, he did.
So is it right for him to go ahead and accept the accolades of something that really didn't occur? Because he's still investigating it. I think it's the right thing for him to investigate. But I guess the ethical question is it right for him to celebrate and take the credit for something he knows he really didn't solve?
Well, I think he has to, because at this point, he can't sit there and be like, hey, guys, don't celebrate for me, because guess what? We're still investigating. Because the family now thinks that it's over, it's done with. And if he, if he lets people know that they're still investigating it, then it becomes an issue. So he has to kind of play along with it. But I think he did the right thing, because at first he kind of let it get to his head. He's taking pictures. He's got this big party, cushy office. But I think, like I said last week, he's a good cop. So deep down inside, he knows, like, something's not right here. So we're going to have to fix this. And he does that. Right.
I think it was funny how, when he's sauntering around the party and he runs into Julian and Joanna.
He's like, you look familiar.
Right.
Never mind.
That was good writing, because it was kind of like, I don't even know who you are anymore, kind of thing. And I think he looks at her like, you're selling out, you're changing. You're living these two lives. You're really not in this investigation. But you want to say something, Bamm?
No. What?
But as far as I'm concerned, I feel like as a man, he had his opportunity and he blew it. So, we've talked about this before.
What would he have done? What should he have done?
what he should have done is he should have laid his cards on the table way back before this investigation 2 years ago, before he even left to go to the FBI. And he really felt like how he was expressing that he really felt for her. He should have told her then, like, yo, I don't want this to be a week-long thing. Like, we're going to work this out some kind of way. I can get you transferred out here. I'm going to be out here for a few months. We come back something. Yeah. You know, I just feel like if you feel that strongly about somebody,
and we've discussed this before, Will and Joanna's characters are kind of reverse. Like, he's kind of the moody one. No disrespect to women, but he's the moody one. 1 minute he's
they're like, no disrespect, take it.
Yeah. 1 minute he's one way, and then the next minute he's the other.
Right.
And she's very direct in what she wants.
I think so too. And I also feel like I think he tried that. I mean, we can tell from this entire show that he's not the best with relationships. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he hasn't talked to this chick in 2 years, and then he shows up on her door, and then he's like, hey, let's try this out, you know, once they get back in the sack.
Right.
So he's not the best.
But,
you know,
I want to use you for this investigation that's going to help promote my career.
He's not.
I don't think so.
See, like, he's not good. So I guess I give him a pass on that, because some guys kind of suck at relationships, and clearly he does.
Right.
Because he should have told her, like, no, you're my girl. Let's step up to the plate. Let's start making future plans, because then that means you're serious.
Right.
But he ain't made no plans with her.
Right.
So Joanna's, and then here goes, on the flip side, here goes Julian saying immediately, let's move in together.
Right.
And he's trying to make a future with her, so I can't really blame her. And then she got a bracelet, too.
Now let's talk about this bracelet, because as far as the investigation is concerned, this is kind of a pivotal piece of evidence / information, or this bracelet has led to them learning some information about Vivian not actually being murdered
at the hotel.
And actually being killed at the house.
Because Julian tells her, hey, when he sees the bracelet that she has on, he said, that's the same one that Vivian had. I think she had it on, you know, the night that she died.
Let's talk about that first. Is it weird that he's giving her his dead sisters, or is it apropos since it's her best friend?
I thought she already had it. I thought he was giving her a new bracelet, and as he was putting it on her wrist, he saw the bracelet that was Vivian's on her wrist already, because she had two bracelets.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That would have been weird.
That bugged me out for a second. I was confused. I was like, wait a minute.
No, because when he put it on, he thought, he was like, oh, Vivian has a bracelet like that.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, but so he gives her the bracelet, and they find out that Vivian was...
potentially had this bracelet on, which is weird, because if she had it the night that she died, then how did it end up in the cellar?
That is strange. I'm kind of like, well, that's what's kind of led to the Sophia... potentially being a suspect. So now you got Sophia potentially being a suspect, Robert potentially being a suspect, which is really weird because they both have their motivations for, I guess, you know, that would lead us to Haverstock, actually.
Yes.
And Joanna confronting Haverstock.
Yes, because she thinks
now. So talk about that.
So
Megan.
now she's like, okay, so I know that, you know, she thinks, at the beginning of this episode, she thinks that Haverstock had something to do with killing Vivian, which is why she does not want to let the investigation rest.
Okay.
So she goes to talk to him, and she finds out that, you know, he really does love her, and she's very direct with him. And he's like, I already know you're a cop. Okay, let's just be real. You're a cop.
How do you think he knows that?
Because he knows everything. He's going to be Attorney General. He knows these things.
Okay, hold on 1 second, because we have a caller that's calling in and wants to weigh in on what's going on.
Caller, you're on the air.
Welcome to AfterBuzz. Who's this?
Hey.
Thanks for calling in.
Did you see the finale?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
What's your name?
Oh my God, it was the best episode ever. It was the best fucking episode. I'm sorry for cursing, but it was the best.
That's okay. What's your name, caller?
Jenny Marseille.
Jenny?
Yes.
Jenny, what did you, of course you thought the episode was great, but what did you like best about it, or most about it? What was most intriguing to you?
Allison, she's my favorite character. I knew she was alive. Ever since season 1, I knew she was alive. That was the best episode ever.
You said Allison?
Yeah.
I don't think there's an Allison.
Do you mean Samantha?
What?
You mean, who do you mean? Which character?
Allison.
Allison? I think you might have the wrong show. I'm not sure.
Which show? What show are you referencing?
Wait, what show is this?
This is Deception on NBC.
Oh, so it's Pretty Little Lies over?
What's that?
Yes. Well, this is not. It's not here.
Okay, yeah, you got the wrong
Deception.
show.
Yeah, but thank you for calling.
Thanks for calling anyway, and you can catch us next season.
Yes, and we appreciate you watching AfterBuzz TV and tweeting us everything, calling in. We love it. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Anyway, so with Haverstock being confronted by Joanna,
Yes.
They've formulated this little gangster squad of
right.
cops with him, Denton, Haverstock, Denton, Joanna, and Will.
The Power Rangers.
Exactly. And it's kind of a weird assortment of crime fighters.
It is. It's
Like
really weird. But then, through all of this situation, we find out that it wasn't Haverstock because he really, truly did love Vivian. And he even mentions to Joanna that he knew that she was going to leave and go with Ben.
The coldest line that Haverstock said is in that same sentence when he said, I knew that she was going to go back to Ben, but Ben is not the kind of guy that a woman's going to fall for. He's going to fall for the kind of guy like me, and you should know, you're in your 30s. And so, right.
Your eggs are dry.
Yeah.
Vegas, that's funny. Your eggs are dry. Yeah, that was funny. So, what do you think about, if you guys have any opinions about Denton coming up next season? Is Denton going to be compromised? And how far will Denton go? Will he eventually turn back to the good side, or is he going to stay on the dark side? I feel like there's like a Star Wars thing going on with him. Like, is he going to be turned over and become a Sith Lord, or is he going to remain a Jedi? So, like, what do you guys think about as far as with Denton? Denton seems like he's disgusted because he's discovering that how he's being used as a pawn by Robert. But at the same time, it's like he's
too deep in now. He feels like, okay, I'm deep. So
because he killed somebody.
Yeah.
But he could still weasel out of that because that chick was a killer too. Audrey was a killer too. No. And she had somebody.
Okay, but still, the point is, as an officer, and you're supposed to uphold the law, you're not trying to go around killing people. What you're trying to do is make sure that justice is served. So even though, and you can't take justice into your own hands and kill people, that's why this is America. There's a justice system.
Right.
Even if it's tainted, there's a justice system.
Right.
And so, him being an FBI agent, he knows that. So that's why it's weighing so heavy on his conscience, because he could have easily just turned her in and let her serve her, 2 prison terms, life sentences, whatever.
Well, to his defense, he did pop her when she was in the midst of attacking Julian with a knife.
Okay, but the point was that
he didn't have to shoot her.
First of all, there's a wire on, so everything was recorded anyway. That's number one. And number two, you could hear Will clearly telling him, she doesn't have a gun. There's no gun. There's no gun here. So that's on the tape.
Oh, I guess.
So the point
but she was still in the process of attacking attacking Julian, which gives him a pass.
Okay.
That gives him a pass. That's what helps him to, like, oh, she's got a weapon. I can get her now, and he did.
Okay, but the point is, you remember
Not saying he should have. I'm just saying.
But there's a recording of him taking money from Robert. Remember?
Was that verified?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. But
So the red light.
Robert's a smart guy.
Robert is a smart guy.
I'm sure he would have something on him. So So of course, I'm pretty sure he has enough information to where, like, look, if I'm going down, so are you. Which is exactly why Gabe hides the suitcase.
Right.
He doesn't turn it into forensic.
I think he needs to go ahead and get out while he can, as far as being cahoots with Robert, because it's just he's gonna dig himself into a deeper hole and probably bury himself in it.
I don't think he can get out because
he's taking that money.
Not only because he's taking the money.
See, that's where he messed up.
But then also, Megan made a good point last week in regards to the hints that was probably something that was being recorded in back of a Robert's desk.
Mm-hmm.
There was something that we saw read, so a conversation could have been recorded. So Robert is smart. You don't become worth 10 million or 10 billion.
Billion.
He's worth 10 billion. You don't
With a B, like boy.
you can't bring down someone worth that much money so quick.
Right.
So
And he didn't get there by accident.
and he didn't get there by accident. So Denton he's probably going to end up dead.
He is. I can see that happening, and I think he's probably going to end up dead when he has a come to Jesus moment, and he decides this is wrong, and I'm definitely not going to do what you're saying, and I'm going to turn you in, and I think that's the moment he's going to die.
Okay, now do you think Denton is going to give up to his crew that he's done whatever he's done with Robert, or do you
No.
think that he's going to end up diming out Haverstock and Joanna and Will to Robert?
I think he kind of already has a little bit.
No, he said,
because remember,
well, he did. It was
did
inferred, but see, Robert still doesn't know who knows what specifically.
but we don't know. We don't know what happened because if you notice that the scene got cut when Robert was asking Gabe, so who else knows? And Gabe was quiet. He's like, who else knows? He asked him twice.
And then he walked off. Then
No,
Robert
'cause
walked
it
away.
cuts. It
No,
cuts
Robert
off.
walked away.
Oh, does it? I
Yes,
thought it
he walked
cut.
away because I was waiting for him to say something, and he walked off. That was
Well,
it.
he knows
He didn't
something
fess up.
because at the end he said something to Joanna, and he makes the inference.
He knows somebody knows, but he doesn't know who.
But-
he knows somebody else knows. Though.
But that was a weak move on Denton because, again, he is worth $10 billion. Do you really think that in the middle of nowhere, do you really think he's going to say, yes, I killed Vivian? Like, of course he wasn't going to admit that information. He could have been
It was
bugged
right.
or
It was.
anything.
It was right when he asked him. He said, "So you killed your own daughter." When he inferred and said all that to Robert, and then that's when Robert he said one more line, and then he walked off. When Denton was like, "I can't believe you did this," and it really seemed like Robert was gonna fess up and say something to incriminate himself.
I didn't think
And then
for
they,
one
and
second.
then they had the flashbacks. Remember?
Yeah.
And that's when he walked away.
I think this man killed his daughter. So at this point, I would
We
be
don't
very
know that.
afraid. No, we know he killed his daughter because
No, we don't.
but this is the thing. Because when Gabe tells him, "How could you have me kill this woman and you killed your own daughter?" What does he say to him? He doesn't go, "I did not kill my daughter. Are you absurd?" What he says to him is, "You still have that." When he tells him he has a suitcase, you still have that suitcase in your trunk.
Right.
So you're definitely not going to say anything about me because if you say something about me, then you're also telling on yourself. You're about
Right.
to be a detective before 30. Let's be
Right.
real.
A first detective.
So to me, that says I'm definitely guilty, yes. But it doesn't matter because you're not going to turn me in. So what's the point?
It says that he's guilty, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he actually killed his daughter.
Okay, either way, it doesn't matter.
How about this? How about this? They're already setting up a pattern with that Robert has a violent past and is used to doing certain things like bumping people off and having their kneecaps broken and all that.
Yes.
Especially people close to him. Like look what happened to Julian's mother.
Yes.
So Beverly is like wigging out.
She's not wigging out. She's
No,
she
she
has Alzheimer's and she's going
But
through
she was
it.
going through an emotional.
And she was remembering some stuff that
right,
happened in the
and she was
past.
referring to Julian as Robert.
Yes.
And calling him Robert, and she was dead before you put her in the car, type of thing. And she's alluding to
She loved you.
that
Yeah.
Robert
killed her.
Catherine.
And Julian's hearing all
And
of
Julian is like, "What?" So you notice at the party, he says something to Robert about it. She loved me very much. She loved you very much. He's like, "I know," but Julian is to me. Julian's a little soft. He doesn't have that.
He's gonna surprise us, I'm sure.
Well, we'll see.
feel it.
We'll see if the writers can give him a little more grit. Because I mean, he doesn't have half the grit that his brother does, and his brother still doesn't have half the grit that his father does.
I mean, he's an old player. He's been in the game for years.
He
They're gonna be
has.
like that when they're his age.
And speaking of his brother, Edward, and his wife, that situation is
That's so sad.
It is sad.
I wanted to cry
because
she was
I'm
so
like,
nice.
dang, took his wife out. It's cold-blooded.
When it was revealed that she was laying in the hospital,
Yeah.
I wrote in my notes, yeah, she's alive. And then, of course, she's not breathing. And then Julian makes that little smart ass comment, which was so inappropriate.
Like, why?
Yeah, what did he say again? Remind us.
He was talking about how, there's no brain activity. There's she's not gonna wake up. We got to pull the plug, basically. Like, okay, dude, come on now. First of all, she just died. It's not like she's been sitting in the hospital for like 3 months.
Right.
Like, okay, we should probably pull the plug. First of all, you can afford to keep her on life support for a while, okay?
Right.
And secondly, your brother is clearly sad. He hasn't left her side. He's been sleeping at the hospital. So for you to just be like, oh, yeah, there's no brain activity there, buddy. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
He deserved a punch in the mouth for that one.
He did.
Yeah, he should have. You guys should have written in a little punch. At least a pimp slap, something. Julian deserved. But anyway, so I want to figure out and see how they're going to bring all this Russian mob, everything
Hold on, wait,
back
before
around.
that, though. So we have to talk about him actually pulling her off life support, though.
Do we have to?
Yes, because here's the reason why. I thought, did y'all think that they were going to keep her, like she was going to come back to life? Because I did. I didn't think she was going to die.
I didn't think she was going to die either.
Me neither.
Because when I saw her, I was like, oh, she's alive. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. And then it was all of a sudden like the doctor comes up and consoles him and puts his hand, and then next thing you know, they pan over to the screen, to
Like,
the
see
little
the
life
flat
support screen, and then
line.
there's a flat line. Yeah, that was horrible.
That was.
I'm not sure about that. I don't really like that aspect of the storyline. I think that she still should have remained alive, but maybe they wanted to give Edward a reason that was strong enough to justify villainizing him to do other things.
Yeah. Well, which makes sense.
And then you feel like he's justified in doing it.
Yeah.
That character, because he's been through so much, and that's like the final straw. He made a comment about she's the only reason for him to.
Oh, he said that she was keeping him in line basically because he didn't think
Exactly.
he was going to be a good parent.
Right.
And
But I think it was as a person. Or was it? I think it was in reference to him being as a better person as
Yeah.
well, not just being a parent. I think just Samantha was like that balance for him, that conscious,
Yeah.
so to speak, and that's what he was saying, or what he was referring to.
And that flashback, was so sad when they flashback to when their daughter was born.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'll keep you straight. Don't worry. Like when
Right.
he said he didn't think he would be a good parent. So that was really sweet. And then I think Mia helped him through that too, because she kind of was like, hey, you got some kids.
Right.
Got to think about them.
Right.
I think she kind of helps bring him back to reality.
And speaking
Out
of
of his
Mia,
grief.
Kyle comes back
He does.
out of nowhere. What do you guys think about that?
Look at Bam's face. Bam doesn't like him still.
I don't have a problem with Kyle, but
Yes, you do. Look at your face.
I thought that he served no purpose in tonight's episode.
I will say that there's still something creepy about him.
Well, I was hoping that, being that it was a season finale, I thought it would have been revealed. When he first came into the scene, he was on the phone with someone, and it gave the illusion that he was following her or doing something.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was never revealed.
Right.
And so
They kind of slipped through the cracks of the script.
that
of
would
the
have been his
story
only
development.
purpose to come back for the season finale.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
They kind of let that one
to
go.
come back and just present her with flowers.
Season 2, maybe Kyle.
Boo.
We'll
see.
find out what you're really doing there, Kyle.
He came back to convince me to dye her hair out of that pink.
I know. What is
That's
that
what he
pink?
came
Because
back
it
to
came
do.
out. That was last week. I was like, what is this pink swirl doing in her hair?
I think it's
Ish.
I think it's to make her look more like a teenager, because she doesn't look
Yes.
like a teenager.
Right.
She does, and to make her look like a rebellious teenager because
Yeah.
they didn't have that before in her hair. So I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Makes sense.
I get something else. I'm getting iTunes.
And I am getting that same vibe. We're right here. Boom.
Boom.
You should definitely subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. It's really easy.
Yes.
You can go on there, click subscribe,
Yes.
and then you can comment and rate us, which we love because we love to hear what you think. And we love to hear what you think about the show as well. So make sure you tell a friend. Make sure you rate and comment. Give us 5 stars. That would be awesome. And continue to support us at AFTERBUZZ TV.
Ding dong dong dong. There should be like a little. You need to put like a little tune in there for
I know, right? That was
like the more you know kind of thing.
iTunes.
Okay, so Mia and Haverstock haven't had their transplant.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Thank goodness.
Okay, so that may not happen still. It seems like that's lingering.
It's
like she's already
lingering.
agreed.
But she got abducted, so who knows? It might happen if she never gets found.
End of the episode, Mia gets hemmed up by Wyatt. Oh,
again.
Are you looking for my mom?
And once again, I would just like to say,
can't you tell this guy is not
NBC Deception writers, why do the Bowers not have security at their mansion? We've said this like every single episode. So next season, please make sure they have a guard at the booth or something. Some
Rayburn.
attack dogs.
Besides Rayburn.
I know, Rayburn, who's never, where is he, like hiding in a shed somewhere?
He's gardening.
He's killing people or something.
Yeah, he's gardening. He kills them and then he plants rose bushes over their bodies.
I guess so.
No one
but
ever
the
finds
point
them.
is, where is the security? Clearly, this has been an issue.
I don't know. They're supposed to be living on a compound. People always just pop at the house and they're just walking in, knocking on the door like...
He's walking,
like,
go hide in the bushes because
like,
I can just walk up.
That's not... Usually people can't get past the gate.
Right.
And these people are just...
Right.
Let me in. And they're just coming up on the property.
Now
anyway,
he's missing.
that's a little trippy for me. So Edward, he hires the Russian mob.
Yes.
$200K to find
Mr. Wife Killer.
Mr. Guy who shot his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think it was smart of him once Will said, "We think we found the guy who murdered or who shot your wife"? And so they do the little lineup, and so clearly he sees that that's the same guy that has been following him for the past couple of episodes.
Right.
And so, do you guys think that was smart that he chose not to reveal that he knew who the killer was?
Well, I don't know if it smart-wise, but I guess I understand why he did it because he wanted to take vengeance into his own hands. And the thing is, Will knew that. Will says to him, like, "Come on, man, let's be smart here. Like, don't do that."
Right.
He's like, if you see him, point him out. And I'm sure he knew who the guy was, but it's like unless
he has to
point to him. Then.
And then Edward's doing the whole fact that we're not friends,
right?
Trying to hurt his feelings,
right?
Will's feelings.
Yes, you guys are friends, actually.
That's the only friend Will has.
I know, poor thing.
No, Nicole too.
Poor thing.
Nicole is his friend. Nicole, the reporter.
Oh my gosh. Nicole's just looking for a hot story.
We got to get him some friends.
Poor Will. Joanna, come back.
I know, right? So, I mean, that's the crazy part about it is that he hires the rivals of the Russian mob. Do they ever say who these rivals are?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, he hires them, and so clearly they find the dude, and he says...
Oh, they were the Russian mob's rivals.
That's what I'm saying, but does he say who they were? Like, were these Armenians? Or, like, who are the Russians' rivals?
I don't know.
The Ukrainians? Like, I don't know. So he gets these people, and they find Mr. Wife Killer, and... The first thing he tells him to do, he's like, cut his hands off.
Yeah.
And then do whatever you want with him. It's crazy.
I mean, and then he just left.
I thought he was going to, like, kill him himself. I thought he was like, I'm going to kill you for real.
I thought he was going to at least watch the hands get cut off.
No, I think that, character-wise, I think that was a smart choice for Edward because he's not really a violent person, but, he has vengeance in his mind. And so the best thing to do is let somebody that's the side that he takes after his dad.
Yes, the ruthlessness.
There's certain things that he does that he takes after his dad, and that move was something that he's learned from his dad.
Right.
Yeah.
So he is a Bowers after all.
Yeah.
Maybe Julian is not a
I
Bowers. want to know why, personally. I want to know, one of my questions is, Deception writers, why Catherine was offed. Did they even allude to that? What happened with Catherine and why she was... I
mean, I think it's drama. It adds drama because she's the nice one. She didn't do anything wrong. So that's the one person that you feel like everything should be fine with. And the fact that she comes to support her man, she comes to surprise him, and she dies. It's really sad. It's heart-wrenching, and it wasn't expected. So that's good drama.
Yes, but I still have a lot of questions, and there's a lot of open...
Wait, Catherine?
I'm talking about Julian's mom, the one that's dead.
Oh, Catherine. I'm sorry. I thought you meant Samantha. No,
yeah, Catherine.
I don't know. We're gonna.
Did they allude to why?
To why she was killed?
Yes.
For her money. They say that she was worth $2 billion, B with a billion. And this was before Bowers Pharmaceutical.
So is this how Bowers came into money, by marrying her?
Exactly.
Right, okay.
But he might, I mean, they don't really say. He might have had a little money, but the point was he didn't have, his paper wasn't as long as hers, pretty much. Nowhere close to it. And they became the $10 billion family that they are because of maybe her insurance policy. Maybe it was what she already had.
Right.
But either way, he needed that money, and that's how he got it, by killing her.
Womp womp. Robert. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, interesting. Let's go into news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, Megan, you want to talk? You want to cover something else?
Yes, we had. This was a good episode for me.
It was a good episode. We pretty much covered everything.
I know, but I'm sad. I don't want Deception to end.
Yeah, you want Deception
and it might possibly end. So here's the news scoop. So I was checking up on the different blogs, and apparently it's up in the air whether Deception's going to make it or not. On one hand, you know, NBC has brought back other shows that didn't do so great.
Right.
However, I think Playboy is one. There's another one that they didn't bring back, and they had higher ratings than what Deception has had.
Right.
Deception started off with about 5.5 million the very first episode. At the 11th episode, it's bottomed out at about 3.3. It's averaged around there
about
for the last
million.
last few episodes. So it's not doing so great, and it may not come back.
Bloggers and fans, if you guys are really into the show, I would suggest you guys write, blog, email, and do whatever to keep the show on the air. And just see, because oftentimes these things, they might seem bleak, but then they end up turning around, and next thing you know, they're back on the air again.
I know.
We've seen it with other shows, so maybe.
Yes, I hope this comes, because there's so many questions that were not answered.
And there were a lot of open questions, a lot of open-ended questions, and fans want to know. I would like to see like what happened with a lot of things, like especially like Kyle is one of the things that came up. We really want to see if Robert is the one that killed.
And why?
And why? What happened with Wyatt and Mia? Like, what's going to happen with that situation? I mean, there's a lot of open-ended questions. And what's going to happen with Haverstock? Is he really still going to get his transplant from Mia?
And how was the mother Catherine killed?
And how the mother Catherine was killed.
That.
So
my only flaw with this is for this to be a season finale. Like the final scene didn't really punch me.
Right.
That was my only.
About Mia getting abducted?
No, there was one more scene after that.
Oh, when Robert came into Joanna's room?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like basically
like a throwaway scene.
Yeah.
Come have a drink with us.
But I think that what would be best for Deception and NBC is if they moved it to the summertime, where the competition is not so stiff.
Right.
And then that way they can air, they can go maybe 12, 13, maybe 15, 16 episodes.
Yeah.
Run it in the summer where you're competing against the repeats, and then they have a better chance at
survival.
And people were saying that too. They said if it's the real reason why it hasn't done so great is because it's up against Castle and Hawaii Five-0. So if they change the time slot, it could potentially do a lot better. And I agree with that.
Okay, well, we shall see.
And just one other thing, when Catherine Lanasa said that, she had broke her arm because she was in that fight?
Yeah.
So clearly it was that whack food fight.
That wasn't a whack fight. She kind of went nuts.
I'm thinking.
You thought she was gonna box. You wanted her to scrap.
Yeah,
like
I thought
street
it was gonna
fight.
like a real scrap. So
like it was a Chun-Li street fighter. Like you thought she was going all in, huh?
Yeah, I did.
We pretty much covered predictions right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So.
Well, I have another prediction.
What's your prediction, Megan?
That Deception's coming back. Woo! I hope so.
I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey. Where can we find you guys?
I'm Megan Thomas. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at MegScoop.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Big Six Entertainment.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Club Thaddeus. You can also find me here Tuesday evenings at 11 p.m. and for CBS's Vegas,
Pacific.
and on Sundays at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. for Netflix exclusive series House of Cards, which is the bomb. Until next time, after Buzzers.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.